Happy new comic book day, comic book fam. I got a decent haul this week. Let's get right through it. Starting with DC Comics, first up we got DC Pride #1. Now I'm not particularly excited or interested in this one, although Robbie at Pop Culture Philosophers did give it a good review, so that made me a little more interested in it. But the real reason I bought this is the cover art from Jen Bartel. This was my #1 cover in terms of no exclusives, no incentive variants. If you check out my top 20 for that, this was the clear #1 for me. And so for that reason, I had to go ahead and pull the trigger on buying it, even though it wasn't something that I was really cared about reading. Also from DC Comics, we got Joker #4 from King James Tynion IV. I am reading just about everything that he's doing and loving everything that he's doing. This is definitely my read of the week. Can't wait to jump into this one. Joker finally appeared at the end of issue #3, so I'm excited to see what kind of shenanigans we're going to get into for 4. Moving on to Marvel, we got Children of the Atom #4. Now this is the only X-Men type book that I've been following, and for that reason, it's the reason why I'm continuing with it, even though I'm not really getting everything that's going on. But I'm interested in learning what's going on. So for that reason, sticking with Children of the Atom #4. I'm also sticking with Heroes Reborn 6. I'm enjoying this story. Even though it doesn't really matter in terms of everything, continuity. I'm enjoying this little side story with Blade. Is kind of the only guy that knows what's going on. Next up is Spider's Shadow #3 from Chip Zdarsky. Enjoying this what-if story, imagining how it would go down if Spider-Man had decided to keep that Venom suit, or that symbiote suit, and became Venom. Apparently this was a good story according to Robbie at Pop Culture Philosophers. There's a villain that pops up at the end of this thing that is dope, so I'm excited to find out about that. Next up is Amazing Spider-Man #68. I have not been the biggest fan of the Nick Spencer run since starting on 60, but I did enjoy 65, 66, and 67. But apparently this one's a letdown on 68 according to the early reviews coming in. But hopefully I disagree with them because I really want to like Spider-Man. Sticking with Marvel, we've got Web of Spider-Man #1. I don't really know what's going on with this one. Apparently it's some kind of side story that's not really part of continuity. Whereas Tony Stark starts some group of young science smart kids called Web. And of course Peter Parker is one of those kids. So I'm not real excited about this one after hearing the early reviews, but I went ahead and pulled the trigger anyway. We'll see what happens. Moving on to Aftershock Comics, we've got Bunny Mask #1. Now, I read the synopsis for this one. Bunny Mask in a cave, thousands of years, comes out, wreaks havoc. Not really something that got me excited in terms of I gotta go get this. But the buzz around this one has been real. People have been excited about it. Some friends of mine in the comic book family have been pointing to it. And so I'm going off what they're saying. I went ahead and grabbed #1. And the fact that it's from Aftershock Comics doesn't hurt because I am enjoying a lot of what they're doing right now. Next up from Boom Studios, we got Eve #2. I really enjoyed Eve #1. I like the setup for it. And then the blurb at the end from the author about being a parent and his reasons for writing the story really hit me in the feels. I've kind of become a wussy since I became a dad because a lot of stuff will get to me that didn't get to me before. But more than that, I'm enjoying this setup, this Matrix type setup with this young girl as kind of our budding hero. So I'm excited to see where this one goes. Went ahead and picked up cover A and cover B. I really like that cover B. It's really good to me. It was one of my top covers of the week in my top 20 if you check that out. Sticking with Boom Studios, going right back to my man, King James Tynion IV. Long live the King, my favorite writer doing it. And this is one of my favorite series out there right now, Wind #7 from Boom Studios. I tried to read this one to my 4-year-old daughter, but it was a little too heavy for her. She was losing interest because I don't think she was really understanding everything. So I'm looking forward to trying that one again as she gets a little bit older, because this is a story that's very much compatible with your kids, but I'm also enjoying it well. It's got this kind of fantasy RPG feel to it, so it's kind of my wheelhouse in terms of my geek nerdom. But if that sounds good to you, I would highly recommend this one. And it's from James Tynion. You really can't go wrong. And I also had to pick up that Virgin cover because I just love this one, and I'm just gobbling everything up from this one. Still with Boom Studios, we got Proctor Valley Road number 4, continuing the build up with these monsters and this landlady out in this nowhere's land on Proctor Valley Road. So they've set up a lot of questions, haven't given us a lot of answers, but I'm still enticed enough to figure out what those answers are. So for that reason, I'm definitely sticking with this one to see where it goes down. Hopefully Grant Morrison delivers on this one. And then I had to pick up this Virgin variant with that crazy, creepy Stephen King looking boy on the front with a knife. So loving that cover, definitely one of my top covers of the week. And then last from Boom Studio, we got Magic the Gathering number 3. Now this one didn't come out this week, but it was one that I missed that I had meant to pick up. I've got a friend of mine who's a big Magic the Gathering geek, and he is gonna tell me and show me what's what with this one. I read the first one, had no idea what was going on, but we're gonna get together and he's gonna give me the lowdown on it, because this is, again, my kind of geekdom stuff, this sort of RPG Magic kind of thing. It's definitely something that I would like, given that if I just give it a chance and figure out what's going on. So looking forward to that. If you're interested in a video series where my friend tells me what's what with this Magic the Gathering from Boom Studios, let me know, because we've been talking about maybe getting together and doing that. So if you do, hit me with a comment down below and let me know that's something you'd like to see. Moving on to Image Comics, Robbie at Pop Culture Philosophers, number 1 pick of the week, Geiger number 3. I'm excited for this one. I've been really enjoying this story from Jeff Johns about a sort of Fallout New Vegas kind of setup. If you ever played that video game, then you really would understand this book. And if you enjoyed the lore of that video game, then you would absolutely enjoy this book. I guess we're gonna open up the world a little bit more, learn more about Geiger in this one, and I can't wait to find out. This is a hot one. If you see it, grab it. And I also had to pick up that cover as well. It was one of my covers of the week. If you checked out the no exclusives, no incentive variants, top 20 or top 10 covers of the week video, you'll see this is one of the ones on that list. Still with Image Comics, we got Carmen number 4 from Guillaume March. I need to figure out how to say his name correctly. Yeah, Marcus. Because I'm saying it every time a new one of these comes out. Enjoying this one, really enjoying the art, and enjoying the questions that it invokes regarding death and suicide. So looking forward to this one and looking forward to the art in this one. Really enjoying it. All right, last on my list from Image Comics, we got Good Asian number 2. Now I read number 1 and I was kind of lost, and it was the kind of book that I really needed to go back and reread again. So for that reason, I'm gonna go ahead and stick with it on number 2, because I'm gonna reread number 1 and then read number 2 and then reassess my feelings about this story as to whether or not it's something I want to stick with. I am interested in the history of it. I do love American history, and this is steeped in the history of World War II in discriminations against Asians because of Japan being one of our enemies in the war. So that's an interesting piece of our history that we don't know enough about. It drives me to go ahead and continue with this one and see what's going down. Looking forward to that. All right, fam, that's my haul for this week. If you're asking me what my cover of the week is, then I'm definitely gonna pick that DC Pride number 1 from Jen Bartel, but then I'm gonna cheat and add this incentive variant from Proctor Valley Road number 4. Really enjoy that creepy boy on the cover. So those two both are gonna be my combined covers of the week. And then read of the week, I am really looking forward to James Tynion's Joker number 4. Loving this series more than I would have ever imagined when I first started, when I first read about a Joker getting his own series. I would never have imagined the direction that Tynion has taken with it, and I've really enjoyed the surprising directions that he's taken. So cannot wait to see what's in store for number 4. All right, so if you got time, drop down below. Let me know what was your read of the week and what was your cover of the week or covers of the week if you can't list it down to one. I am interested in all of your obsessions and all of your choices because they might just be mine too. All right, thanks for coming through as always. Peace, comic book fam.